So let me ask you this. What does Nier, Zam 100, Uncle from Another World, and Misfit from Demon Academy all have in common? All these shows have massive delays to them. This has become a problem recently with anime where shows start and they're not quite complete yet. And it's something that I struggle to understand as to why we're running into this issue and how we can do something to prevent it. Imagine you go to a fancy Gordon Ramsay 5-star restaurant. You're getting a 7-course meal. You pay for it up front because it's an evening, it's elegant, beautiful lights, atmosphere is on 10. You start your courses, you get to the 3rd course, and Gordon's like, oh yeah, we ran into some issues, so everybody go home, and you could come back next week for your last 4 courses. Like, how would that feel? You would be irate. You'd be upset. You'd be like, wow, the appetizers are amazing. The soup, delicious. The salad was so fresh. Where the hell is my entree? Where is the lamb sauce? You'd feel incomplete. And that's the feeling that I'm just trying to convey. These delays leave these animes feeling incomplete. I feel like this delayed thing, it's hit so many times recently that I feel like I want to speak up about it because I feel passionate about it. With Zam 100 dropping banger after banger, fire after fire, seeing it go through this delay process has honestly not only killed the hype for me, but I see across the industry the hype is going down for it. I remember when episode 1 dropped, everybody was talking about it. Now, it feels like it's fallen by the wayside. And what really sucks about it is when the shows come back, they just don't come back with the same heat. They don't come back with the same fire. They don't come back with the same attention. 2023, we are all fighting for attention at all times. Even me making this video, I've been moved so much. I'm like, yo, give me some attention because I want to talk about this. So once these delays happen and that attention economy has moved on and forgotten you in the background, like a pair of dirty panties on the floor outside of a concert, there's almost no coming back to it. Nier started and it had 3 back-to-back episodes, each one of them building up. As an anime only someone who never played the game, I was enamored. I was ready to dive into the world and get a better understanding of what was going on. The moment that I really felt like they hooked me, delay. And it wasn't a short delay either. It was about 2 to 3 weeks from my memory. And when it came back, I just really didn't feel the same about it. A bunch of other things had come out. Matter of fact, to this day, I still haven't gone back to finish it. As you can see, I thoroughly enjoyed the first 3 episodes. And I just never went back because my hype and momentum was dead. I feel like Zam 100 is currently going through the same thing. We had 6 to 7 weeks in a row of bangers, banger, building up, leading to this crescendo that we reached, right? And then right when we hit the crescendo, dead. And the show came back, and it came back with heat. It came back with absolute fire. But do you know what I heard from the streets? No one talked about how fantastic the episode was, how fast-paced it was, how beautifully and visually stunning it was. It was honestly a masterpiece of an episode to come off of a production delay, and nobody watched it. Or I feel like nobody watched it. That's what I mean, the hype dies down. And when the hype dies down, that means there's less viewership. Less viewership means less profit. Less profit means less chances that we're going to get that season 2. And then again, they're going to keep that in mind when considering the next show. Misfit did the same. It dropped about 3 to 4 episodes, and then bam, we hit a hiatus. Anytime an anime hits a delay, it is a net negative for everyone. It's a net negative for the manga that they're trying to sell, for this anime that they're trying to hype up, and for the viewership experience of what they're trying to accomplish, which is, at the end of the day, create a profit from this. Moving forward into the future, if we keep seeing these delays, that manga that you're waiting to get animated, they're going to keep these delays in mind when they're thinking about making your next favorite project. And on top of that, to my next point, it also frustrates the fan base. Now, you guys know me. I normally don't complain about anything, almost ever. I try to keep a positive influence and a positive base because a lot of times I'm just happy that this project got greenlit and we are able to watch it and enjoy it. But we've hit the point where it frustrates me. It frustrates us. It frustrates the community, specifically a community that's been waiting years, and now you hit production delay. Now you're probably better off than me because you have been waiting so long that once you got it, you're just happy that you got it. But I know you have to feel that frustration, especially that fear when you hear that word Definitely where you don't know if it's ever gonna come back. That's a scary thought. And it's a frustrating thought, especially when they hit you with so much beauty in the beginning. People who would watch the anime and then go purchase the manga, they may not go get it. They may be like, wow, I felt like I wasn't emotionally bonded fully through the anime for me to really want to put my dollars into the manga to continue it. So I'm just going to drop it all together. Another good example of that is Uncle from Another World. We had entire months between when we got those last 2 or 3 episodes. I was so excited even when the delays were over and it came back, but I gotta be honest with you, even watching those episodes, I had kind of forgotten some of the story. My hype had died down. I was frustrated. So when those episodes even came back, I was watching with a little bit of a judgment eyes. Now granted, they came back and it killed the game. Not everybody would be willing to give it another chance, especially if it's someone that's an anime only or someone who was a diehard fan and they feel slighted. You frustrate your base and you hurt the bottom dollar. And again, at the end of the day, we can't act like this industry is not about what? Profits. The next thing about delays is we already talked about how the delays have the potential to hurt profit, hurt manga sales, hurt viewership, selling of ads. All that compiles to one giant issue. You're scaring investors and you're scaring advertisers away. Animes oftentimes are made to increase manga sales, right? But in the same breath, we get it on streaming services. They air it in Japan. There's ad dollars behind it. There's a lot of moving parts on the business sense. Whenever we hit these delays, it's hard to believe that these businesses aren't looking and saying, wow, we've been investing a lot in anime. However, we're running into a lot of issues. Maybe it's time that we take those resources and we move them somewhere else. It's something that a lot of people, anime and manga readers don't really think about or consider, but it is a massive issue. If those dollars are no longer being invested and funneled into these projects, we get less and less manga, we get less and less anime. Granted, how mainstream anime has become, I don't want to lose anything. Give me more manga. Give me more anime. Give me what I want. I want it all. And for those reasons, we got to avoid these delays. We have to figure out a way. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am not completely privy to the culture and some of the issues behind the production. I know each individual show has its reason. Sometimes it's production issues where there's issues with artists, there's issues with getting the episodes completed, and other times there's issues where things just can't be helped. It's the culture over there where there's either a holiday or sometimes, people are overworked and maybe they're even striking or going against hostile work environments, and that I can support and understand. What I'm advocating for is some common sense. Let's get back to basics. Let's make sure that before we start a project, that we're just completing it before we start showing it. I don't know enough to understand why they would start airing a project that's not already completed. In my mind, in a perfect world, before you set an air date, I would like there to be 8 episodes. If it's 12 episodes, I would like there to be 8 episodes completed. Can we agree that 75% of episodes completed in total before announcing an air date would be like some common sense? Because for me personally, the only shows I could really think of where every week you wouldn't need to have that episode made that week is honestly really South Park late night TV shows. Anime doesn't really pull in from pop culture like that, where something would happen in a week and they would incorporate that into anime. So in my American mind, my simple brain, my 3 brain cells fighting together trying to put this together, it doesn't understand why we're running into this issue where we're starting an anime season and episodes aren't packaged and complete and just ready to go. And it's one of those things, like, I feel like with a 75% like leeway, like even if there is some production issue that pops up at a certain point or another, you should have so much space that issue should not be that bad. We should not be going 4 months without an episode of Nier. We should not be going 2 months without an episode of Uncle, especially once it's started and you have all that momentum behind it. It's just doing a disservice to the viewers, it's doing the service to the team, and it's doing the service to the industry as a whole that we're not taking that amount of care to ensure that we have a completed product before we're ready to go. But I would like to think that these artists and the production team, they should be compensated enough that they should be able to take breaks and produce this stuff. I just hope that I don't want this to be we're jumping in on the people who make anime. We're attacking mangakas. I don't want to be on the side of we're hating on directors or artists or pointing blame and pointing fingers. I just feel like the best thing for all of us, anybody who enjoys manga or anime, would it just be to pull back and really make sure that we're giving these artists enough time and enough space to create this beautiful medium that we all enjoy. At the end of the day, I don't know what the answer is. I have one common sense solution. We should wait. We should wait to put things out. We should wait to announce when we're going live. We should wait to announce when a project is going to be completed. We should also compensate the people working on these projects enough so that if they need time off and that's the issue, we can give them adequate time off. If we need to hire more people on production to make something within a budget, then we need to make sure that we find a way to get these people paid and get them what they deserve, truly. It's an issue that, although it doesn't feel that large right now, and some of you may say, oh, it's only a few anime, less than 1% of anime have been delayed. I see this as a trend moving forward, and that's why I think we need to get ahead of it now. I don't believe this is something that's like, oh, this is an off shot, oh, it's a one off. It's all fun and games now until it's your anime. The manga you've been waiting for years to get animated. You make it into 4 episodes and then you don't know when your episode 5 is coming. That's something we can all hold together in fear. And that's something that I don't want to happen to us. That's something I don't want to be prevalent in the industry. And I really think right now, especially with what happened to Zom 100, I can make a case for a lot of shows. I believe even AOT, who is on final season part 2, episode 3, or something like that. Yeah, it's not a pretty sight, and I think it's something we need to get ahead of. Honestly, if you made it this far, yo, comment down below. What do you think? What are some other animes that you saw get delayed? What do you think we could do together as an industry to make sure that we don't face these delays? Or if you have some information, like some common sense information on what's actually happening with these individual animes, go ahead and drop that in the comments. Like I said, this is just a rant video. I did very, very minor research. I just really felt it in my heart that I don't like these delays. I don't. And people be like, "Oh, you're being you sound entitled. You don't understand enough of the culture." And honestly, you're a little bit right. I don't understand enough, but I don't think it's entitlement. I'm really looking at this from a holistic perspective in that right now it's only a few, but in the future it can be more and it could be yours. And I don't think that's something any of us want. Yeah. If you made it this far, go ahead, drop a like, drop a comment, sub to the channel. As you can see, I have a bunch of other reactions, a bunch of other videos and reviews. I'm your man behind the cam, and as always, never forget, stay nasty, y'all.